Narelle Wolf, Head of Sustainability and ESG at AusIMM, and I'm here with Valentina Petrone, WSP's Circular Economy Lead in Australia. Thanks for joining me, Valentina. We'd love to hear your reflections from the panel in advancement of application of circular economy principles.
Hi, Narelle. Thank you very much for the invitation. It's a pleasure to be here today, having a chat on circular economy for the mining sector. I really enjoyed listening to the panel around how circular economy can help the advancement of the mining sector. Definitely was a great group of panelists, and they provided a broad overview of a complex but exciting topic. I think that Ashley Morris provided a very clear overview of what is the role of circular economy in the mining industry, and she highlighted what are the key barriers and enablers. And I fully agree with her. We need more collaboration and transparency across the board. I also really enjoyed Toby's overview in terms of the importance of the design across the whole life cycle of a mining site, and looking at critical materials is very important, but also considering other waste materials and the use of water and energy efficiency, and looking at the whole life cycle of the mining sites and the importance of a just transition for the communities. And finally, I'm very familiar with the amazing work that Svina is doing in the space of materials recycling and microfactories. And again, really delighted to hear the role of designing of products and a different type of technologies to facilitate the circularity of circular materials, but also other very important materials like plastics and other polymers. So very, very amazing session.
Just to expand on that, can you share how circular design approaches can be applied in mining projects?
Sure, that's my area of expertise and passion, really embedding a circular design approach into any type of projects. With respect to mining, I see two layers and two opportunities to embed this approach. The first is a site-wide approach, as I mentioned, Toby was also highlighting, is really looking at the whole life cycle of an asset. So from the exploration phases to the mine site development and how we design this asset through the operations, and at some point the closure and the mining transition of a site. The circular economy approach and the framework can really help to minimize the impacts on the environment, reduce carbon emissions, and propose a different approach to an industry which historically has been facing lots of challenges in terms of environmental impacts. And the second level of approach I see is more at the critical materials level. So how we can really optimize and maximize the use of the materials we are extracting, and making sure we keep those materials in use for as long as possible at the highest value. In terms of the site-wide approach, I've got very passionate about opportunities for the transition and of mining sites. One of my favorite projects is definitely the Eden project in the UK, which in a former and abandoned clay pits, they have transformed the site into a great educational place where there is a showcase of biodiversity. So strong contrast between what was the operational site and this new use of the sites. And within WSP, we've been involved in an interesting project, which is the Kingston pumped hydro in Queensland, where we are looking at the opportunity to reuse, again, an abandoned copperfield mine site and transform it into an energy storage pump hydro, which will support the energy transition. So again, for me, applying a circular economy lens is really a way to see opportunities where there were lots of challenges before, and take the best of it.
And Valentina, in your view, what lessons can the mining industry learn from other sectors?
That's a very good question. other sectors are also looking at embedding a circular economy approach in the design. I have been involved in very interesting projects across the construction industry and the built environment. And we have seen amazing results to the implementation of design strategies like design for adaptive reuse, design for longevity, flexibility, even design for disassembly. And I can see the approach transferable to a mining site. I really like the idea that a mining site is much more than just a hole in the ground. There are lots of additional infrastructure and elements that serve the mining site, but can be reused in a different way for additional uses. There are also great opportunities from an industrial symbiosis point of view. Again, looking at the energy requirements and water requirements of this site, how can we combine the use of those resources with other type of industries and create more value out of that approach. In my experience, it is very important to be involved as early as possible in the design. Then stakeholder engagement and sharing is very, very important. So as a shift to circular economy won't happen in silos. We need to work together. And if we're thinking about, for example, any construction assets, working with the design team and the clients, but also influencing the tender process and working with the contractor on site and the builders is very important. And then considering who is going to operate and manage this asset, because we can design solutions that work really well, but if the stakeholders that are going to manage the asset don't know about it or don't know how to use it, is a lost opportunity. And the other lesson learned is about setting the right targets and measures. Still in the waste industry, we talk about waste diversion from landfill. We don't talk about waste generation reduction. So we want to really reduce the amount of raw materials and resources we need in the first place. And we need to be able to measure that to make the right next step. So lots of positive input from other industries.
And more specifically, what's your perspective on the role of circular products in the mining industry?
For the mining industry, it is very important to look at the whole supply chain. It might feel as a bit of a disconnect if you think about a mining site. Imagine a remote area in Australia compared to the mobile phone we have in our pockets. They look very disconnected, but the supply chain is very interrelated. So definitely we can influence the design of products and assets. So we can look at way we design a wind farm to make sure that all the minerals required or a large-scale PV panels plant to see where the critical minerals are used and materials and how we can keep them in use for as long as possible. But also looking at all the products that we use in our daily life, like mobile phones and laptop. And I was reading recently a research from Europe, and definitely with the needs of critical minerals for a renewable energy transition, we won't be able to fulfill the demand just by trying to recycle and reuse the materials we have in use at the moment. But definitely we can support a reduce in demand of those new materials through the establishment of take-back schemes, product stewardship agreements, leasing agreements as well. So it's really fascinating to see how we can work on a push and pull market at the two different ends of the supply chain, and the role is very important.
Thanks, Valentina. We really appreciate your insights.
Thank you very much, Narelle, for your time.